end up breaking up, you're probably better off without that person to begin with. But if you guys end up staying together, what peace of mind knowing that that person is in it for you and not what you're giving them. That they love you as a person and not what you're doing with them. That is peace of mind right there. So to have the guts and courage to take it out and see what it's made of. The second thing, right now Jason and I, we're training ourselves in faithfulness. Chastity trains you in that faithfulness. Because one day when we're married, I'm just going to be 9 months pregnant, ready to go, and Jason is going to be at work. And he might have some cute little hot secretary now. Do you think the same temptations won't be there just because he has a ring on his finger? Of course not. They're still going to be there. But the thing is, he's trained himself in faithfulness now, so within marriage, he can be all the more faithful to me. So to train yourselves in faithfulness. And I know a lot of you are dating right now, and realize most of you right now is dating someone else's future spouse. To guard that person, protect that person, as you would want your future spouse guarded and protected in the same exact way. Now, when you date someone, to raise your standards high. And I know a lot of people say raise your standards high. When I say that, never have to lower yourself to date anyone. And I know a lot of people do that. And you know when you do that. But to keep your standards high, because everyone in this room, no matter where you've been, what you've done, you are worth waiting for, and you deserve the best. And if that person doesn't want to wait for you, or they're always pressing you this or that, frankly, they're not worth you, and you deserve better than that. So to set your standards high. And I think this is the most important thing of all. If you want to have pure relationships, a pure mind, you've got to have a pure soul. That is the key to it, to go to confession. Go to confession at least once a month. Jason and I, we go every 2 weeks. And I really think it was the power of confession that healed me of all of my sexual sins, and I was able to stay away from that lifestyle because there's such power in that. And I see confession as this. Confession is God's mercy. In that room with that priest is God's mercy. And if you turn your back on confession, you run from confession, it's like you're running and turning your back on God's mercy. So to go and get that clean slate. And I tried everything under the sun to stop living that lifestyle. I was miserable, I hated myself, and nothing stopped me. I tried everything. But the second I did this with God, that's when my life did a 180, and I haven't fallen since then. So if you truly want to live out abstinence, chastity, living a life of purity, you've got to do it with God, or frankly, you won't do this at all. And you'll fall on your face just like I did. So give your lives to God, and He will bless you abundantly for that.
Now, where do you go from here? Thank you. So, here at this high school, this guy was talking at a high school, and it was hilarious. He calls the guys up, and he said, guys, he goes, raise your hands if you guys want to marry a virgin. And all the players and all the jocks were, yeah, I want to marry a virgin, yeah. So all the guys had their hands up. He's like, okay. He said, keep your hands up. And everyone's like, yeah. And he goes, ladies, I want you to look at the guys. And the guy's like, uh-oh. And they said, girls, look at the guys. And next time any of those guys pressures you to do anything sexually, I want you to remind them how important purity is to them. And the guys were like, oh. And he's like, no, keep your hands up, to realize that purity is attractive. And you might be thinking, Jason, look, I'm not a virgin anymore. But ask yourself, am I just a date or am I a soulmate? Am I just a for now girl or am I a forever girl? It's never too late. I know a girl who got abducted in Texas. A guy did disgusting things to her. When he was done with her, he threw her in a latrine in Southern California. Construction worker came, looked in the latrine, the girl's up to her neck shivering in the human waste. And they looked down there and said, my God, who could do this to a little girl? They lower a guy, a fireman in there to pull her out. She sees him coming down. She was scared to death, started to take the human waste, throwing it at the guy. Said, just don't touch me, just leave me here. She'd been so hurt, she didn't know who to trust, and she wanted to literally live in the sewer. And some of us have been so hurt, maybe through sexual mistakes, that we think it is just too late, just leave me here. But I stick my hands out and I say, girl, it is never too late. You still deserve the real kind of love. So girl, get up. Guys, where do you go from here? Guys, I would say, I did a poll of 1,400 girls at a high school. And I had them vote on how many of them thought if a guy practiced chastity in high school that would be undeniably attractive. 1,400 of the 1,400 girls said, yes, it is undeniably attractive. It's tough. We were at this high school. They had the best high school basketball team in the country. And after the talk, the center of the basketball team comes up to me. He's like 6'10". He walks up to me and he's like, can we talk in the back? And I'm like, yes, sir, yes. And I went back somewhere. I said, what's going on? And he goes, honestly, man, He goes, I've been with so many girls. He goes, I've done so much stuff. And he goes, I knew every time I was killing her, but she wanted it. I wanted it. Half the time you're drunk, so you can just blame it on the beer. But he goes, dude, how do you start over when you've been where I've been? He goes, I want to learn faithfulness before I meet my wife. I don't want to give her all my memories, diseases, baggage. He goes, I want to give her a clean heart. How do you get that when you've been where I've been? And I said, dude, you've already started. You have that will to love her. That's where purity starts, in your heart, not from your body. I said, it's hard, but I said, you ever watch a wrestling match in high school? And if you're wrestling, and if you get the back of your opponent's head, you can direct his body wherever you want it to go. I said, it's the same with purity. If you can get control of the way you think about girls, you'll change the way you talk about them. You'll change the way you treat them. And he said, he goes like, dude, he's like, man, that makes sense, but man, he goes, dude, it's so hard in the passion of the moment just to stop. And I said, dude, you know from sports, your body will do what you tell it to. I said, imagine you're married and with your wife in bed at the most pleasurable, exciting moment of your entire life, and the house caught on fire. What would you say? Would you be like, oh no, it's too powerful. I can't say no to sex. We're gonna die. No, you'd get your Snow White butt out of bed, save the kids, get on the front lawn, because your body will do what you tell it to. So don't wait for the girl to stop. But the greater feeling of responsibility you have for her, the more real love there is. And I will grant you, this lifestyle is hard. But realize that purity is a gift from Jesus. We have to ask him of it, and he'll give it to us. And so realize to come to confession. Secondly, to come to the Eucharist, which is the fountain of purity. We go to Mass every day of the week because the purity that you get from the Eucharist doesn't take away your hormones, but it gives you love. So become intensely Eucharistic. Thirdly, and this is huge, devotion to Our Lady. This thing is the rosary, okay? Our Lady can hook us up. I mean, as a guy, you look at the pornography, it takes like 20 seconds to look at it, then it takes like 20 years to forget what you saw. And for me, it was devotion to Our Lady that cleansed that stuff out of my head so I could properly look at a girl. Now, we've been able to explain certain things today, but the one thing I know we can't explain to you honestly is the peace and the joy that come from chastity. It's worth more than all the pleasures of the world. And when you bring the gift of purity into a relationship, you bring Christ into the relationship, and there's so much peace, and that purity will be your super glue. You will have romance without regret, and you can fall in love for the right reasons. If there is only 60 seconds I have to speak to you today, this is the only thing I would even bother telling you. You guys have been an awesome audience. We love you very much. Have a wonderful life. Thank you.
I, Jason,
Take you, Kristalina,
take you, Kristalina,
to be my wife.
to be my wife.
I promise to be true to you
I promise to be true to you
in good times
in good times
and in bad,
and in bad,
in sickness
in sickness
and in health.
and in health.
I will love you
I will love you,
and honor you
honor you
all the days of my life.
all the days of my life.
And you repeat after me, Kristalina. I, Kristalina,
I, Kristalina,
take you, Jason,
take you, Jason,
to be my husband.
to be my husband.
I promise to be true to you
I promise to be true to you
in good times
in good times
and in bad,
and in bad,
in sickness
in sickness
and in health.
and in health.
I will love you
I will love you
and honor you
and honor you
all the days of my life.
all the days of my life.
Grab